Tonight from Hammond Stadium in Fort Myers, Florida, the Red Sox play their second game of the day. This one against the Minnesota Twins, one day after the official announcement that JD Martinez is in the fold. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight in Fort Myers. Great to have you along. I'm Dave O'Brien, my partner Steve Lyons, Garen Austin in just a couple of moments. Red Sox lost for the first time in the Grapefruit League earlier today, beaten by the St. Louis Cardinals over at JetBlue. They made the quick ride, only about 5 or 6 minutes, right here to Hammond, and a brand new lineup, Steve, and it has Rafael Devers in it.
And what a good-looking young player he is at just 21 years old. And if you look at his numbers from last year, they project out for him to be about a 30-home-run-a-year guy. And that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid that is just 21 years old. But, you know, he doesn't care. He's a good hitter. He's a smart hitter. He's got quick hands. He's got great plate coverage for a kid his age. So I don't think it really matters to him. He just goes out and plays the game the way he knows how to do it, and the numbers speak for themselves.
As you said, 21 years old, still a baby, but a great major league career in front of him. We'll see him tonight batting out of the 2 spot against the Minnesota Twins. The Sox and the Twins coming up in just a moment.
Islandology number 5.
The Minnesota Twins, a lovely night here for the Red Sox. Second game of the day after dropping one 6-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals over at JetBlue just a couple of hours ago. Time to find out what Garen Austin is working on tonight. Let's go downstairs to Garen.
Hi, Obi. Well, I've got more on JD Martinez. Big day. Also, several players are making progress. I've got injury updates, and I caught up with Ty Buttery talking about the spring training that he's been having so far. And I've got more information on where fans can bid on the Stoneman Douglas the Red Sox players wore during the game on Friday.
Okay, Garen, thank you very much. Look forward to that. And, of course, going to be talking a lot about JD Martinez here until he gets a chance to play sometime next week. Here's a look at the starting lineup tonight for Game 2. Rusney Castillo will lead it off in right. Rafael Devers at third. Hanley Ramirez at first. Steve Selsky is in left with Sam Travis, the designated hitter. Devin Marrero at short. Ivan DeJesus Jr. at second base. Dan Butler, the catcher. And Anuri Tavares is the center fielder. And the number 9 hitter against the Twins right-hander, Jose Barrios, the right-hander, 23 years old, 6 feet. Last year won 14 games. He's going to be a key man for them as they bid to go back to postseason play. Mid-90s fastball, very sharp curveball. So the Red Sox undefeated no longer in the Grapefruit League after today's defeat. They are now 4-1. Sox has beaten the Pittsburgh Pirates on Monday 13-2. Ball 1 to Castillo. We're underway. Rafael Devers on deck.
Castillo continues to try to make some type of impression on this team. Not on the roster anymore. Still drawing a hefty salary. Off to a decent start. He's got a home run and 3 RBIs.
That's right. He'll make $11 million this year. We'll see if he can draw some attention outside of the organization as well. As you mentioned the other day, if you're not on the 40-man, especially if you're making that kind of money to play in the minor leagues, if you can find someone else who would love to have you in their outfield and willing to pick up that tab. And he did have a nice year last year with the Paw Sox at AAA, spent the entire season. He was an all-star. Wound up hitting .314. And he goes up the middle for a base hit. So Rusney is on to start the night for the Red Sox.
Let's talk the Minnesota Twins defensively around their outfield. Rosario Buxton, the Gold Glove winner, and Kepler out in right field. Adrianza at third base. Polanco, Gordon, and Pacheco round out the infield. Jose Barrios and Wilson are your battery for today.
And Rafael Devers to climb in for the first time tonight. Last year became the first player ever to hit 8 home runs in his first 20 major league games before turning 21. Not the only historical note to come out of his season, but the kid started with a bang, to put it mildly.
8 homers, 16 RBIs in those first 20 games. The home run production fell off right after that. He only hit 2 more the rest of the year, but he projects out as a pretty good power hitter, and he has to make adjustments just like teams make adjustments to him.
I thought that was one of the things that really stood out about Rafael last year, his ability to make those adjustments, to step out of the box, and you could see it going through his head. You know, a combination of scouting reports, what did he do to me last time, if he's seeing someone for the first time, what he was told moments before coming to the batter's box, to make adjustments from one pitch to the next. And he felt like, and watching him, it felt like he was a more mature hitter than 20 years old. It's ridiculous to be in the majors at 20.
Yes, it is. And I'll tell you, his ability to go the other way is the one thing that will keep him from going into too many prolonged slumps.
I think Aroldis Chapman would agree with that home run on that Sunday night that he crushed on, what, 103-mile-an-hour fastball going the other way.
Went a lot faster going the other way.
Outstanding power.
Just tremendously strong hands and wrists. They're trying to bury him inside right now. It's what you talked about before, the plate coverage that he has and the discipline that he has. A lot of young left-handed hitters would have been trying to swing at every one of those pitches to try to hit it in between the first and second baseman that are a huge hole over there.
Good job laying off on that one downstairs. So 3-2 on Rafael. Hanley Ramirez on deck. A lot of the Red Sox didn't get here until about maybe 40 minutes ago. Arriving from camp over at JetBlue. This time of the night, traffic is usually very heavy. And a bounding ball that's going to roll foul. Castillo will retreat to first base. It's going to be very tough to get here, even though it's only supposed to be like a 10-minute drive.
Not at rush hour.
Not at rush hours for sure. So a lot of the Red Sox finally got here, but Hanley was able to get here earlier, and I would assume get some hitting in a little bit earlier in the cage. Red Sox did not hit here at the ballpark. Hanley, the first baseman tonight, arriving in front of his mates by a little bit.
Castillo was off and running on the last pitch. I would assume he probably would go again.
He takes off up the middle, trying to turn 2, and it's knocked down by Polanco. Everybody's going to be safe. Now it should be a base hit. See how they rule on this. He was thinking double play.
That's kind of the one time where the guy who was running actually pulls the defender right in way of this baseball. It probably would have gone up the middle for a base hit if they weren't running. Trying to field that ball on the second base side of second base. Probably should have had it.
Yeah, on second look, he probably should have. And
but you're right. He was trying to turn the double play before he actually had the ball. Plus, who was he going to flip it to? He was already on the other side of second base.
Right. They do charge him an error. First and second. Red Sox brewing something early here for Hanley. Entering the final year of a 4-year contract with the Red Sox. Does have a vesting option for 2019. And he'll take ball 1. Hanley's been in a particularly good frame of mind. I'd say great frame of mind in this camp. And I think the entire organization is in a noticeably better frame of mind after what occurred yesterday. The official announcement that J.D. Martinez is in the fold, which took a little bit longer than anybody wanted in there for a strike.
Martinez in the lineup is going to help Hanley Ramirez, whether he hits in front of him or behind him. There will be a lot of debate, I think. Obviously, Alex Cora right off the get-go has been pretty steadfast about Mookie Betts being his leadoff hitter. And for the most part, J.D. Martinez hitting third. But there's definitely a chance that these guys might flip-flop. There's pretty good arguments on both sides. I had a chance to read Alex Spear in the 108 stitches. You know, if you're hitting fourth, you have nearly 10% more opportunities to drive in runs than if you're hitting third. That's pretty significant, really. If you're the number 3 hitter, you love to get that guy up in the first inning. But a lot of times he comes up with 2 outs and nobody on.
2-1 to Hanley. Another good take. 3 balls and 1 strike. Red Sox being very patient here with Barrios early. And I get that, and I understand the math. However, if you know a little bit about Alex Cora and the way he's likely to manage, striking first means more than anything. And getting Martinez up in the first inning with an opportunity to get up, a run or 2 is huge for him. Sky high pop up first baseman Pacheco. And a foul ground with the infield fly in effect, and he's got it for the first out.
And I would tend to agree. I want my best hitter up in the first inning. Now, if your 4th hitter gets up in the first inning, that means there's definitely somebody on, so it's a possibility that you can drive in a run because you're the 4th hitter. But if he doesn't, he leads off the next inning. Just kind of the buzz. They're big on, as you said, getting off to that fast start. As soon as the Red Sox come in to hit, everyone knows that your number 3 hitter, if it's J.D. Martinez, is going to hit in that inning. Don't go get any popcorn.
Steve Selski in left field tonight. Runners at first and second, 1 down. And he'll take a breaking ball that backs up inside for ball 1. Yesterday I thought Alex was non-committal about 3rd or 4th. When he was asked point blank, where are you going to hit Martinez in a press conference yesterday with J.D. sitting right there, along with Scott Boras and Dave Dombrowski. Not like he came flat out and said he's 4th or he's 3rd. He said 3rd or 4th, but he intimated I do like seeing the number 3 guy. My number 3 hitter, if it's Martinez, I want to see him batting there early.
I just think that shows his intelligence level, too. Why pigeonhole yourself into something right now? Why do you have to make a decision? Got the entire spring training ahead of him to see Martinez, to see this entire team and the way it reacts. He doesn't have to make a decision until opening day, and then the next day he can change his mind again if he wants. I don't think it'll be a flip-flop situation. I think he'll settle in on who he wants 3rd and 4th, and then they'll stay there.
1-2 to Selski.
Yeah, I agree with you, though, Dave. I want to see that. I want to see one of my best hitters hit in the first inning. I was surprised to read the numbers of the RBI opportunities that fall to the number 4 guy. Nearly 10% more. That is significant, but it really surprised me.
Castillo at second and Devers at first. And a pop up to shortstop Polanco there. Another infield fly. He clinches that, 2 down. So Barrios getting the next 2 men after the first 2 reached, and now Sam Travis will try and salvage something in the inning. Sam, the DH here in the second game of the day for the Red Sox. Did appear in 33 games for Boston last year, but 82 with the Paw Sox.
No matter who the 3-4 hitters are, they're going to have better at-bats than Ramirez and Selski did in this situation.
Now, among the many things we heard out of J.D. Martinez yesterday was the story about who bought him those tickets or gave him the tickets when he was 19 years old and he and his sister celebrated his 19th birthday at Fenway Park. It was none other than Mike Lowell. Mike, of course, played his college baseball, was raised in the Miami area, and there's a family connection between the Lowells and the Martinez family, and it came down to Mikey Lowell at that time to leave those tickets for then 19-year-old J.D. Martinez. And J.D. said yesterday, just after the press conference, he said, yeah, I got to find Mike Lowell. I got to thank him. It was a great day for J.D. and his sister.
Turned out to be a really great day.
Yeah, portent of things to come. Foul tip, play on at second base. Castillo has to dive back in safely. Foul tip held by Wilson. So the count 2-2.
I think Castillo got fooled by that a little bit. I don't think he was sure that ball was fouled off. He didn't know exactly where it was. Got out there a little bit too far and then had to scamper back. Watch Castillo, top of your screen. He's out there. See, he thought it just kicked away. Or maybe he thought it was a strike three. Didn't look like he knew what was going on out there, and he was about halfway between second and third.
2-2. So full count. Been a long inning for Berrios. So he's going to throw at least 30 pitches here, it would appear.
Well, he was one of their young stars last year. He's working on a changeup. That would be the final piece to his puzzle. He certainly got the 92 to 96 mile an hour fastball, good curve, good slider.
He'll definitely be in their rotation. Runners go, and it's fly toward right. Kepler moving over. He'll be an everyday outfielder for Minnesota this year. Our next broadcast, by the way, will come from West Palm Beach on Thursday against the Houston Astros, the reigning world champs. That's at 1 p.m. Steve Lyons will be there along with Guerin and myself, and sometime the night before, Steve will text me to ask me what color shirts we're wearing.
And we'll get it right this time?
And I told him today what we were wearing, what I was going to wear, what we should wear, and I showed up in a completely different shirt. Totally different color. Runners take off again, and again flick foul. So I said, you know, the aqua one, but it's usually the one that says Nesson on it.
Yeah.
That's what he was
Generally.
thinking. And he got it right, and I got it wrong. I don't know what happened there.
And this is...
Talk to my clothier.
We have two of these blue shirts, and this is the closest to aqua of the one that I had, so I just went with it.
Right. This passes for news in spring training, by the way. 3-2, runners again take off, and it's row foul.
Look out. Well, the runners are getting their sprints in. Castillo, Devers, they've been running on the last 3 pitches and have had to come back.
Berrios is going to get his work in the first inning. He may not come back for a second. Castillo with a base hit. Devers reached on an error. 3-2 again. The runners will be on the move. There they go. And again spoiled by Travis. Berrios, a guy that they brought up on a couple of occasions. They really touted him as a top prospect. Has excellent stuff, but he got knocked around when he first arrived in the big leagues in 2016. Had an ERA over 8. Gave up a lot of home runs. He was not ready. Last year he certainly was. 14-8 record, a 3.89 ERA. Is the 10th pitch of this at bat. And finally he gets him. Down he goes with the off-speed breaking ball to retire the side. 2 men left in the Twins coming up in the first inning. Well, a couple of postseason teams doing battle in spring training 2018 here tonight. Beautiful night. Very, very comfortable here in Fort Myers. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, and Guerin Austin with you. Here's a look at the Minnesota Twins starting lineup. Byron Buxton coming off an excellent year. He's in center. Jorge Polanco is short. Max Kepler in right. Rosario in left. Grossman the designated hitter. Eddie Adrianza is the third baseman with Nick Gordon at second base. He is Dee Gordon's brother. Chico at first base and Wilson doing the catching. And up against the right-hander Chandler Shepard. The 6'1", 25-year-old out of Ashland, Kentucky. Red Sox have already seen him once so far in the spring. He pitched in a college game. As the Red Sox got off to a very nice start, won their first couple against the college squads, BC and Northeastern, and then won 4 in a row in the Grapefruit League. Before finally falling today. Nobody, Steve, goes undefeated in spring training.
Nope.
I don't care how good you are, how loaded you are not going to go. The Houston Astros just won the World Series. They will lose a lot of games in spring training. For them, that might mean 7 or 8.
You got to play everybody.
I was with the Marlins in 1997. Jim Leland came on as the manager that year. And that club had a lot of outstanding talent. Gary Sheffield was on that team, and Kevin Brown, Al Leiter, loaded with pitching. Alex Fernandez, Rob Nen was a closer, had plenty of offense. And he wanted to set a tone to win, even though spring training results usually don't mean anything, or very little. He wanted to start winning immediately. And that team won something like 26 or 27 spring training games. They'll be in there for strike 3.
Buxton didn't like the call on that one. Let's check out the defense, the way it lines up for the Boston Red Sox. Out in the outfield, Selsky in left. He's been everywhere out there. Tavares in center, Castillo in right. Infield is Devers, Barrero, De Jesus Jr., and Ramirez. Your battery, Shepard and Butler.
So one away, Polanco, the shortstop, to bat. No score in the first inning. Usually you tell a story like that and people go, oh, well, what happened? You know, how'd the team do? Well, that team won a World Series.
Yes, it did.
That year. But I thought the point was they got out of the gate quickly. That Marlins team went 8-1 after being very successful in spring training. It could certainly go the other way. You could load up and, you know, try and win some of those spring training games, those Grapefruit League games, and then, you know, you come in and you lay an egg when the regular season begins. But that particular year with that group of guys, it made a difference.
Jim Leland might have made a little bit of a difference too, huh?
Just a bit. Tag foul. Great manager.
You're right. That was an excellent team that made great moves at the deadline. Added some players. And they added guys before that season too. They stockpiled that young talent. They let them play together for a little while, and then they added some good free agent pieces before that year started and went out and won.
That's right. And then after winning, blew it all up.
Yep. And then did it again.
Fouled off his foot. Well, Minnesota was a playoff team last year. They went 85-77. They took a wild card. And that was a 26-win improvement from the year before for Minnesota under the manager, the Hall of Famer Paul Molitor, who earned a 3-year deal after getting the Twins back to postseason play. Tagged into right center. Tavares, though, plenty of time to get there. 2 away. Max Kepler will be next. Twins were a very good offensive team with Brian Dozier and Miguel Sano and Joe Mauer, who enjoyed a very nice bounce back season. Mauer has yet to appear in a spring game. They say he's going to play tomorrow. Sano as well.
Dozier's missed a little time with kidney stone issues.
Boy, that's no joke.
I can tell you from personal experience
to be so afflicted.
Joke. Yeah, twice.
Awful. But as painful as you can go through. Sano's coming back from surgery. They put a titanium rod in his shin. And there's also a harassment issue hanging over him. We'll see how the Twins elect to deal with that, how he deals with it. But as insurance against the fact that he might not be playing that much early on in the season, there may be some kind of a suspension there. They went out and signed Logan Morrison to a 1-year contract.
Another one of those guys that was just hanging out unsigned. I believe they signed him out of that free agent camp.
I think a little girl threw the baseball back out onto the diamond. Like, no, I don't want it.
And go get it. That is so funny when they do that. Mom and Dad are like, no, please.
They gave her another one.
She got it back.
One, two, and he checked. Kepler, a German-born outfielder, an outstanding athlete, hit 19 home runs last season for the Twins. They do have some pop. And several of their regulars are playing here tonight, including Kepler. And he'll take a seat. Shepard sets him down. He has a very good first inning with a couple of Ks. Training game on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Second inning coming your way. Red Sox nothing, Minnesota nothing. The Twins have gone to another pitcher, and it is the veteran Anibal Sanchez. You may remember him very well in his Detroit Tiger days, pitching against the Red Sox in the American League Championship Series in 2013, when he was just electric. He had one of the best sliders I've ever seen in that series. Almost no hit the Red Sox in game one.
Well, he's done that before too. He's got a no-hitter.
Look at him last year, kind of a disastrous season, a 6.41 ERA.
And his year before that wasn't good either, so he's due for a bounce back.
And he's hoping to make this ball club.
You know, there's rumors out there that the Twins are toying with going with a 4-man rotation and adding at least another guy to the bullpen.
Yeah, they get some off days early. I think they might be able to pull that off. As Devin Marrero is the hitter, the shortstop, followed by DeJesus and then Butler.
Expanding on the new wave of how pitchers are looked at. They don't necessarily care if their starter goes deep into a game. They'll have 2 extra guys out in the bullpen that will be considered more like long guys.
Well, heck, if you can get a long start, if you can get 7 innings out of a guy, you're going to take that every day of the week, twice on Sunday. But your point being, if a guy scuffles that 3rd time through or even the 2nd time through the lineup, teams are no longer reluctant to pull him.
Or if there's just a rumor that he can't get through the 3rd time and they pull him out.
Well, that's right. If the analytics say that 3rd time through he goes from a 216 batting average to 345,
yeah,
then
ask the Dodgers about that.
A 2-2 from Sanchez. Now the Red Sox regular season home opener is April 5th at 2:05 against Tampa Bay. The Yankees and the Orioles also come to Fenway on that first homestand. It's a 10-game homestand. And the Red Sox make a trip to the West Coast to see Mike Trout and a Japanese phenom, Shohei Ohtani, for the first time. He's both batted and pitched already in spring training in a game.
Yeah, we're just talking about the analytics there. It was Rich Hill that made a couple starts for the Dodgers, and the analytics said he can't get through the 3rd time in the lineup. But that really hamstrung their bullpen in the playoffs. And he was pitching very nicely when they decided to get him out of a game.
Yeah, it was 3-2, and down goes Marrero. So Sanchez spans him. 1 man gone. Let's go down to Guerin.
It was finally made, and his mom and dad were there. Martinez said that having family there was huge. The sacrifice, the dedication.
Okay, our apologies. We lost Guerin's mic there, lost her audio. But we'll promise to get that story back on J.D. Martinez. Whenever we can get that corrected, that's right through there for a strike on DeJesus. One down, bases empty, no score in the second. Now, J.D. yesterday, obviously, I thought looked very relieved, over finally getting it done. He said, I was ready to go to spring training, and ready to get right into the cage and right into playing games, and then bang, nothing. And he's looking around like, well, what happened? What am I supposed to do now? With that long delay until finally the official word yesterday, the official announcement. So he looked very relieved, and time was not granted there. The pitch comes inside. J.D. Martinez yesterday, by the way, he is huge.
He is a big boy. Yes,
he is a big guy. Tremendous power, not just pull power, center field power, right center power.
He hit 49 home runs in 423 at-bats or something crazy like that. I mean, goodness.
One of the things that Alex Cora mentioned yesterday more than once, though, was he's not just a slugger. He's a guy that can hit for batting average. He barrels up a lot of baseballs. I think he put the number at 64 or something yesterday. He just barreled up. And so he can make good contact. He can hit for an average.
He's been a 300 hitter over his last 4 seasons, basically. And, yeah, I mean, you'll take that. When you get that kind of power, the 45 homers with 300 batting average, that's old. That's 90s batting average numbers.
The guy's right in his prime. Fouled off by DeJesus. Butler would be next.
Remember a guy like Frank Thomas who would hit you 35, 45 homers and hit 330. Just unbelievable numbers. That's the kind of stuff that JD can do.
Well, I haven't talked to anybody who didn't believe he's going to be a great fit, in the clubhouse. He's very well liked, very, very well respected. He's not a noisy guy, but accessible, and he'll have a great influence in there.
I liked when he was talking about the fact that, he goes, I like to think of myself as a team leader, but not a vocal one. But I love talking baseball. So if you're hanging around my locker, that's what we're going to be talking about.
3-2. DeJesus, 30 years old, been around a little while. He's made a couple of opening day rosters in his career. The Dodgers in 2011 and Cincinnati 2 years ago. Serves that one, but that'll be caught by Gordon. And they're 2 away.
The catcher, number 70, Dan Butler.
Two away for Butler. Dan, a guy's been around a while. He's a non-roster guy in this camp, but 31 years old now. Good professional catcher. He's in his 10th professional season. Last 9 of those, well, 9 of them with the Red Sox, went away for a brief span.
4 homers and 34 RBIs last season. He said he's played in Pawtucket a number of seasons now. In 2013, he was the MVP of that team.
Some other things that season were happening at the big league level, so it got very little attention, unfortunately for Dan. Tags that one into right field, but Kepler will make the catch and retire the side. Sanchez gets the Red Sox 1-2-3. Saturday night, 8:30. Don't miss NESN Next Producer, showcasing the next generation of New England's filmmakers. Saturday, we take a look at student films from Central Connecticut State and Wellesley College. NESN Next Producer, presented in part by buyatoyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Spring training baseball, and the Minnesota Twins coming up against Chandler Shepherd. In the second inning, no score here. It'll be Rosario, Grossman, and Adrianza. Nice crowd here tonight. Our next broadcast on Thursday as we get an up-close and personal look at the defending world champion Houston Astros, and Rick Porcello making the start. Rick will be on the bump. So beginning to get to that part of spring training where you're more likely to see the guys who have secured their jobs, they're in the rotation or they're in the lineup a little bit more frequently. Red Sox beginning to get some guys from the starting rotation back to work. Drew Pomerantz will pitch on Friday. Looper to center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Rosario is on. No play for Tavares or Marrero.
Seems to me there's a different philosophy and a different program with the pitchers in this camp, wanting to make sure you don't wear out a guy like Chris Sale, and Porcello knows what it takes for him to get ready. There's your next two scheduled pitchers.
Well, you've talked about Rick Porcello and just how vitally important you've said you believe he's going to be if the Red Sox are going to go deep in 2018.
Well, he's got to get back to the form of 2 seasons ago, his Cy Young year, and I think that he has the formula to do that. And
does he have to be that good?
Well, no, he doesn't have to be that good. That was pretty darn good. That was a Cy Young
22
season.
wins good. Fly to center field, driving back Tavares, but he has room. This one off the bat of Grossman. One man gone.
But, Dave, sometimes a guy will have a really good year, and then next year he might not have the same season, and he will say, I didn't pitch that much differently. I was kind of the same guy. I just didn't get the same breaks. But I don't think Porcello will tell you that was the case last year. So he's got to get back to the basics that got him those 22 wins. Everything fell into place for him to get those 22 wins the season before.
And you might argue a lot of those things didn't go his way. They always went wrong. I thought he was just a little bit off in his command by the slightest bit.
Yep.
I mean, Rick's got really good stuff. He's a bulldog of a pitcher. We know how good he can be. And being just a little bit off, possible double play, high throw, and that brings Hanley off the bag, so no double play. They do get Rosario, and they're 2 away. But when you're a touch and field guy like that, and you need to command that sinker, man, if you're just a little bit off.
Nice try for the double play right there. Tough backhand flip. That makes it take too much time in order to get the double play. But you're absolutely right. It's a small adjustment for him. Like you said, just off here and there, location-wise, command-wise, a few more walks.
Yeah, he does not have to change much. And I saw him working with Derek Lowe the other day in camp. Another outstanding sinker baller, although, that's not just all Porcello throws. He throws a lot of stuff. But I think that he is huge. I agree with you that he's huge if the Red Sox are looking at a deep run in October. Obviously David Price is as well. Those 3 guys, if you can send 3 out today, 3 outstanding starters, and Pomerantz, of course, had a brilliant year last year. And starting pitching ought to be a real backbone for this club.
Well, I may be in the camp that says this team may need another starter. They may need to go out and get somebody because there's still a lot of question marks when you look at Wright and Erod going to start the season on the DL. I mean,
if they are correct, yeah.
Yeah, and all signs point to that. If they're already saying that there's a good chance that that's going to happen, leaves a spot open for guys like Velasquez and Johnson and Elias. But when you look at the history, Pomerantz has had elbow problems in the past. So has Price. So we can't just throw the dice out there and say those guys are going to make 33 starts this season. You hope that they do, and you're counting on it, but you better make sure you're ready if they can't.
Well, you're right. You've got to have depth. And you've got a situation like where Brian Johnson's out of options, for example. So what do you do there? The other guys are not. Obviously, Erod's still a young guy coming back from that knee, and Stephen Wright coming back as well. I really think if Stephen Wright can be the guy he was when he had his breakthrough season, anything like that again, that's found money for the Boston Red Sox.
Stephen Wright's always sort of been found money for the Red Sox. No one ever expected him to do anything. They'd always say, we'll give him a spot start. He's always kind of really in his corner. Really thought he had good stuff when he got his opportunities. He proved that.
Yeah, made an all-star team. Showed you an awful lot that year.
Sure.
2-2 on Gordon. As mentioned, D. Gordon's brother, not as fast as D.
Just as skinny.
Just as skinny, a little bit stronger, from what we're told.
Said he did put on weight before he came back for spring training this year, but I'm not sure where it is.
Adrianza on at first base and 2 gone. And tagged to left center. And Taveras to the alley to make the catch and retire the side. No runs ahead, 1 left, still no score. Today's Red Sox spring training game in Essen is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket, where Red Sox fans goes for tickets for all their favorite events. Sports, concerts, theater, and more. Ace has the best selection at the lowest prices. Visit aceticket.com now or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Scoreless after the first couple of innings. Red Sox will bring up Anari Taveras, center fielder, then Rusney Castillo and Rafael Devers. Sanchez into his second inning. He was sharp in his lone frame. He got the Red Sox 1-2-3 with the strikeout. Taveras, a 25-year-old from the Dominican Republic. He was in the Orioles spring training camp last year. Missed the majority of the regular season, though. In the Red Sox organization, he appeared at Lowell, Portland, and with the Paw Sox. Did hit .377 at Portland, but that was only 18 games. Left-hand hitter. If you missed it earlier today, Red Sox did lose 6-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals, their first loss of the spring. So the Red Sox are 4-1. Anibal Sanchez with the 1-1. Slicer down the line. Rosario to give chase and will make the catch in fair territory.
Not a lot of room here in this ballpark down the line in foul territory, but easily made that play.
Have you made a trip to Target Field, the Twins ballpark? I hesitate to say new ballpark. It's been around a few years now.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful place.
Nice ballpark, huh?
Especially when the sun comes out there in Minnesota. Of course, then slightly after that, then the big mosquitoes come out as well. They sit on the telephone lines and wait for you.
They weigh down those telephone lines. Rusney Castillo with a base hit. And they don't call those, they don't call them mosquitoes. What do they call them? They name them, actually. Henry, John.
Names for everybody, yeah.
Yes.
There goes Bob.
Every time we've been there, it's been beautiful. And we tend to go in June and July to play the Twins in Minnesota. It's like every time the Red Sox go to Seattle, it never rains.
Don't let that fool you.
That's just something they tell people from Los Angeles who come up to visit.
So they won't move there.
Yep. Oh, it rains all the time. It's miserable here. You shouldn't come. What are you doing here? And that's beautiful. Tag down the line, a rocket into the corner, but that's a foul ball. And Rusney with a base hit in first. Only hit for the Red Sox so far. And he really is a fascinating case when you get right down to it. Star in Cuba, signed for huge dollars with the Red Sox. It just hasn't happened for him. There's not a spot on the ball club for him. He's not on the 40-man. So what do you think goes through Rusney Castillo's mind as he shows up for spring training? And he's actually swinging a very good bat.
Yes, he is. Like as you say, he played well last year. He was an all-star. He's swinging the bat well right now. I think the learning curve really hurt him. I just don't think he was ready to be a Major League Baseball player. I think he was fundamentally stunted before he got here. I think he's had to learn the game on the run.
Polanco will fire a strike to get him. Two-way.
Now his age maybe works against him a little bit. He's not a kid anymore. What is he, 29 now?
He's 30.
30 years old, yeah.
1 for 2 in this one. Had a 3-hit game the other day. On the topic of age, here's the 21-year-old Rafael Devers. Reached on an error in the first inning. So he is 0 for 1. How about 21? You show up to the spring training camp of the Boston Red Sox, and you know you are the everyday third baseman. You've got the gig.
Makes it easier to go out and play.
Just oozing with talent.
Well, it'd be nice to know that someone nails down that position. It's been a revolving door of poor play at third base over the last few seasons.
We got a shot there. Dave Dombrowski and Tony La Russa. Tony to his left.
Frank Wren there as well.
That's become a familiar sight. Dave and Tony, their friendship goes back many, many years. Popped up to Polanco. And a quiet inning for the Red Sox. They'll go 1, 2, 3 here in the third.
It's Jim.
A new for the 2018 season, the Jim Beam Dugout Suite is the first and only field-level private space inside Fenway Park. It's a brand new experience, puts you and your guests closer to the action than ever before. This is the new thing at Fenway this year. It seems every season there's something, and this will be terrific. Email premiumsales@redsox.com or call 617-226-6912 to learn more about the Jim Beam Dugout Suite. On to the last half of the third inning, Minnesota to come to bat. And Roenis Elias, the left-hander, who has a chance to make this ball club as a number 5 starter. He was one of the candidates that Alex Cora was talking about a couple of days ago. He'll come on to take on 8, 9, and 1 in their batting order. He spent most of last season on the DL in the minors with a strained oblique.
This will be his third inning of work in spring training. He hasn't got a couple strikeouts, hasn't given up any runs. There's the numbers in Pawtucket. Didn't pitch much down there either.
Jordan Pacheco will take a strike. Young first baseman. Then it's Bobby Wilson and Byron Buxton. So if I said to you, without looking, who won the Gold Glove in center field in the American League last season, your answer would be?
You did say that to me, and I got it wrong.
And you would not be alone. And you follow baseball very closely.
Well, in our division, you can't help but follow the tremendous center fielders that are in the league. Look at Bradley and Pilar.
Kiermaier.
I thought Kiermaier won it.
And he's won it on 2 occasions, but did not win it last year. It was Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins. And the coaches that I talked to, many of whom voted for that award, said it really wasn't close, that he was that much better than everybody else.
I talked to Mike Quaddy today, who's a AAA manager here for the Twins and has spent a little time with Buxton. He says, I'd be biased because I'd probably say yes. I haven't seen him play last year in the big leagues, but he goes, let me put it to you this way. He goes, there's nobody out there that's better. He might not be the best, but, and he said the same thing. You can flip a coin around 5 guys that are just tremendous.
Yes.
Most of those guys in the American League East.
Yeah, it's loaded at that position. So, Jackie Bradley has a battle on his hands to win his first. If it's going to happen this season, Pacheco is on. Now, when we watch Jackie night in and night out, it's hard to believe that there's somebody better than that in someone's opinion in center field.
And, Dave, I believe that works against you as a player, too. When you see a guy night in and night out, you see the warts after a while. You know what I mean? You see all the mistakes he makes. Sometimes we see Buxton 7 games, 8 games a year. Even when we see Kiermaier, see him 20 times a year, you can say, oh, my gosh, this guy's so good. And you see him on the highlights. But I think it lends itself for you to say, maybe he's not that good when you see more of them. And neither you or I have that opinion of Bradley.
Not even remotely. It's the other way.
Yeah.
I think the more you see of Jackie, the more you appreciate how good he is, how effortless he makes it look. Now, I know in Buxton's case, he's got afterburner speed. I mean, he's as fast as Billy Hamilton over in the National League, Cincinnati. Maybe even faster over a short distance.
And the way to determine how good he is how good of routes does he take to the ball, because he can outrun some mistakes that he makes.
I do know this is a fact. If you polled the Red Sox pitching staff as far as who they would rather have, Jackie Bradley wins every single time. He wins every vote over all those other guys. And that tells you something. And we'll see if this is Jackie's year to win that honor. It's been talked about for the last couple of years.
Sometimes it's a strange deal when you talk about it's a Rawlings Gold Glove Award, and many times you win the award based on how well you played offensively, not defensively. And I would say that in Jackie's first 2 seasons, his bat kept him from winning a Gold Glove more than anything else.
You know, I think back to just the plays that Jackie made just in one game, in the Brian Johnson game, where he went all the way, pitched the complete game shutout, and just in that game, it was a highlight reel unto itself.
Balk.
It's going to be a balk here on the left-hander Elias, so he will balk Pacheco over to second base.
Well, Elias is saying, look, I stepped and walked off towards first base, but I don't really think he did walk. He walked towards first base, but he stepped towards home when he threw that ball over to Ramirez. He even fooled Ramirez at first as well. See if you can pick it up. Where's that front foot going? That's coming right towards home, and he threw it to first. Look, he even fooled Hanley over there. He didn't know it was coming. That's a big league balk right there. It's not even close. If you're going to do it.
But, you know, I've heard that argument over the years, and I think it used to carry a lot more weight than it does today. If you look at Buxton's numbers, he drove in 51 runs last year. He hit 16 homers. He batted .253. He was not off the charts in anything. He struck out 150 times. It was a solid offensive year, but he won that honor based on how he played the outfield.
Yep.
And the ability to cover, 30 yards in the blink of an eye. He was just a great defender, and he was better in the minds of the coaches and the managers who voted. But Jackie Bradley, I mean, how do you outdo Jackie Bradley? And this is in the Brian Johnson game, just a succession of outstanding plays, including the last catch of the day. This was in the 9th inning, and then watch the running play in the 9th as well that ended the ball game. Johnson was outstanding in his own right, but he got some great defense from the Red Sox center fielder.
Yeah, every day, day in and day out. If you give him the opportunity to make a better than average play, he's going to make it almost every time.
Bobby Wilson, the hitter. Buxton is on deck.
You talked about Buxton's offense, too. I had thought that he finally kind of figured it out with the bat, but still, for his career, he strikes out about a third of his at-bats. And we always talk about how the game is changing. Strikeouts are home runs, but he didn't hit home runs, and he's the fastest guy in the house. You want him on base.
Elias freezes the runner and retires Wilson. That's the first out of the inning. Now Byron Buxton. They watched him become a star last year. He was a big part of the Twins' success. Remember that everybody gave up on the Twins because it felt like the Twins gave up on the Twins when at the All-Star break they started to trade off pieces. It almost looked like they were saying, okay,
their closer.
We're closing up shop. We're done. And after that, they were as good as anybody in the game in the second half of the season and went on to win 85 and made the postseason.
They've been a strange organization over the last 3 years. Remember, 3 seasons ago, they came out of nowhere and had a really good year. Then the next season, they took a huge step back. Like it wasn't even the same team. Even Molitor said they had such success early that they didn't know how to handle it, and they thought it was just going to fall in their lap, and then came back in 2017 and put it back together a little bit.
A 26-win improvement. The other thing that Buxton can give you is the stolen base. He stole 29 bases in 30 attempts last year, so he doesn't get caught.
And that's why the strikeouts to me hurt a lot more when he's the guy striking out.
Bounding ball handling, knocks it down. Play at first base, going to be tough, and he is going to be safe at first.
You know, at first look, a lot of people would say, hey, you got to get over there if you're a pitcher. You've got to get over. But a left-hander falls off the other side of the mound, and you can't outrun Buxton. You just can't do it. He got over there as quick as he could. It was a tough play, and they got everybody safe. There's your speed.
Yep, not even close in the end. So first and third. We'll send up Polanco. He's 0 for 1, a fly to center.
Yeah, it's just a base hit. I mean, you just can't complain about that. There's no one there to get him. So much worse with the lefty, too, because you're falling to the other side of the mound.
Yeah.
You got to turn around and go, and he went right away.
No score yet. Opportunity here for Minnesota. Now, Elias in the running for a back of the rotation spot for the Red Sox. He was acquired from Seattle in 2015 along with Carson Smith. You may recall that trade, and he won 10 games for the Mariners 4 years ago when he was a rookie. Had a very good rookie campaign that year. ERA under 4. And
he
looks like another balk. Indeed, and that is going to force in a run. Second balk of the inning on Elias.
Well, they're certainly seeing the exact same thing that they don't like. A lot of times a left-hander, he's got his move and he doesn't really make an adjustment. That was not as bad as the first one that he did, but it's pretty risky to step that far towards home and still make a throw over to first base and it cost him a run.
And one of the concerning things, I think it should be a concern of the Red Sox organization, the umpire who made that call is Marvin Hudson over at first base. And Marvin Hudson's a major league umpire. He's going to see if Elias makes the ball club. He's going to see him again. And that goes right in the memory bank. I would imagine there'll be a conversation, maybe even involving Alex Cora after the inning. You can't argue a bunt. That's an automatic ejection. You come out to argue it's like balls and strikes. You can't do it. But
you can have a conversation.
You can have a conversation after the inning.
And the last thing you want if you're a left-handed pitcher is knowing that there's an umpire that thinks you balk on your best move.
Yeah, if he finds his way into a game in ninth inning against the New York Yankees in September, you better make sure you're not balking.
And lefties get away with everything over there. It's rarely called, but I don't disagree that he balked on both of those. Really think he did.
So Alex over there with both Ron Renicky and Dana Lavangie, the new pitching coach. Hammered to short. Runner trying to move up, throwing to third. That was ill-advised and got him. Cut him down. Devers with the tag. So Buxton is fast. He's not fast enough to make a base running mistake like that and get away with it.
Trying to put real pressure on the defense of the Red Sox, but the one thing he can't outrun is a good arm. Can't outrun the baseball.
Marrero's such a heady defender.
I like the way Devers kind of came off of this bag right there and put the tag on him before Buxton had a chance to get to the base, so it was obvious he tagged him before he had a chance to be safe.
Kepler 0 for 1, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Runner at first base. There is a run in on the balk. The second of the two. Kepler, born in Germany, very athletic family. This couple of years he's faded a little bit come August and September.
Yeah, his numbers were virtually the same this past season as they were the year before, but he had 100 more at bats. Red Sox putting the big shift on for Kepler.
And that's going to get him. That'll hit him. So Kepler is on. Kind of an ugly inning here for Elias.
Yeah, he's got to put it together right here. This ball just, Kepler doesn't even care. I just turn away from it, let it hit me in the back, and I'll take my base.
2 balks, a hit batsman, and a walk, along with a base hit.
Kepler was a big tennis prodigy. He was invited to the Steffi Graf School of Tennis in Florida when he was a teenager. Didn't really pick up baseball till later on.
Yeah, he's a heck of an athlete.
Parents were both professional ballerinas.
Well, they have their starting outfield. It's a very good outfield on display here tonight from Minnesota, including this guy, Eddie Rosario, who singled his first time up. Rosario, a very solid year last year, hit .290 with 27 home runs.
Out of nowhere, too, don't you think? I mean, that was like, whoa, this guy, where did they get him?
The Twins are going to be good again. They're going to be a very tough out.
Rosario hit .290 to go along with those big power numbers and the RBIs. A conversation there in the Twins dugout. Not sure what that was about.
Now Marvin Hudson is actually interacting with the Red Sox dugout. And,
oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You're right.
And I think just confirming how many outs there were. One thing we're going to be very busy with this summer is counting mound visits, which is going to be one of the things that Steve is assigned to. Counting mound visits. It can only be 6 unless you go to extra innings.
After 3, I'll forget. I wonder whose job officially that is. I'm sure it falls on the umpires. I'm just wondering which guy has to pay attention.
Ripped to right field. Castillo with room, though, and he will make the catch to retire the side. Could have been worse for Elias, that's for sure. He gives up 1 run. Moments ago, as anticipated, Alex Cora came out to get an explanation from Marvin Hudson on what he saw with those balks. And oftentimes, these are conversations that begin with, hey, Marvin, we know he balked too. Help us out, though. What can he get away with? What should he be doing?
Right. What did you see that he needs to definitely change if he's going to go out there and do it? And, you know, that's the way to handle that. That's a friendly conversation. It's a ruling issue. It's a judgment as far as what the umpire is seeing. And hopefully you can get it rectified before it ever hurts you again.
Trevor Hildenberger comes out of the bullpen now, right-handed from Minnesota. And Hanley Ramirez will get his second at-bat tonight. Hanley is 0 for 1 with a pop to first base. Then it's Selsky and Travis. Hildenberger's name barely fits on the back of the uniform. The hottest guy in camp so far is certainly one Blake Swihart, who has reached base in 10 of his 14 plate appearances this spring. 5 of his 6 hits have gone for extra bases, including 8 RBIs.
Seems like they play him every day, and he gets hits every day. You know, they're really going to have to give him a good number of at-bats on a lot of appearances for 2 reasons. To see if he has value enough to make this club, because as we've talked about, he's out of options. Or to see if another team out there values him enough to offer to make some kind of deal that makes sense for the Red Sox.
Well, another guy who's in a terrific frame of mind. We were talking about that with Hanley and Blake Swihart. Same thing. And, you know, he knows what he's up against, trying to secure a spot on this ball club. But he's off to a great start. He's in outstanding shape. Including his home run swing the other day.
This was after he hit a double off the Green Monster, and then he comes around and turns that thing around into right field and out of the ballpark. Good quick hands he has.
No batting gloves.
Old school. grab some dirt and spit on it.
1-2 roped and down the line. Should be for extra bases. All the way up against the fence. Hanley to second. And he will trot in easily with a double. So nice start for the Red Sox here in the top of the 4th inning. 2 bases for Hanley.
Every time Hanley does something, you worry a little bit, but he's in much better shape. He's dropped some weight. That's a nice swing. He's just worried about timing right now. He went down and dug that ball out of the ground almost, and then easily running down to first and into second base with no problems at all.
But when you say that, you worry about, what do you worry about?
Injury. He has gone through series of times where he's very injury prone. You worry about any time he slides. Saw him play left field and run into the wall and hurt his shoulder. Every time he slides into second base, it takes him 3 minutes to get up. You just worry that he's going to be hurt. Not a kid anymore.
Selski 0 for 1. He has popped up to short. Sam Travis on deck. Red Sox trailing 1-0. That run was balked in. Sox getting a look at the third Twins pitcher of the night in Hildenberger. And he deals a ball. So Wilson hold it for an extra moment.
Big sidearm sinker ball. You can understand why you saw the type of swing that Hanley had in order to go down and dig that ball out and get it down the line.
You were talking about JD Martinez and what he did last season. Time between the Tigers and Arizona. Do you realize he hit 45 home runs in 119 games?
Yeah, for like 423 at bats or something like that. It's crazy.
Drove in 104 runs, an OPS of over 1,000. And he led the majors in at bats and home run ratio, 9.60. And RBIs per at bat as well. Every 4.15 at bats, he had an RBI. So, I mean, that's a lot of damage in a relatively short span.
Well, if he has anything close to that this year, you'll see those RBI totals go through the roof. Be more like 120, 130.
Lifted right center. Buxton there. The Gold Glover with that catch. Hanley's tagging. He's heading into third. The throw's up the line, and he slides in, and he's just fine.
Plenty of arm from Buxton right there. He just wasn't on target. That was a strong throw. I think Hanley thought, well, he's running away from this play. It's going to be hard for him to make the throw back to third base. And at the end of the day, it was, because he was offline, but he certainly had enough arm. Hey, Buxton running away from this play, and that's why Hanley took advantage of it.
So that gets him down to third with one man out. That means the Red Sox can make an out and tie the ball game. Sam Travis, all he has to do is serve it to the infield, except perhaps there at third base. And the throw is going to be getting by Pacheco, and a run will score anyway. Travis into second base, and he pulls up there. And the Red Sox tie it. Not the way they drew it up, but they'll take it, a 1-1 game.
Big error right there, because as you mentioned, the only place that you can't hit the ball in that situation is to the third baseman, because that prevents you from scoring the run. But not when you throw the ball away. This is an easy play. That ball wasn't even thrown in the dirt. Pacheco just boxed it.
Now, who do you charge that error to?
It's got to be on the first baseman.
I mean, he should have made that play. Pacheco should have caught it. Twins make their second error of the ball game. Red Sox on the board. Travis down to second base, and a bounding ball here by Marrero. The runner holds at second, and there are two gone. Devin is 0 for 2. And DeJesus scheduled to bat next. The Red Sox will be hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow over at JetBlue at 105. And among those scheduled to pitch will be Joe Kelly and Brian Johnson along with Carson Smith. We will not televise that contest, but we will be on the air on Thursday on Fox 25. Boston 25, and that'll be Rick Porcello on the mound. As mentioned, Drew Pomeranz will go on Friday.
Got to think those guys, they understand what it takes for them to get ready, but they also must be chomping at the bit. They've been down here for a while.
Talking about the regulars.
Yeah, the regular starters, too.
Yep.
Johnson's been on the mound, but Pomeranz has not.
Line shot, base hit down the line. Travis will round and score. It's going to go to the corner. DeJesus to second base. His RBI double has put the Red Sox in the lead 2-1. But a nice swing on this one to slice it down the line.
Really smart hitting there. Just take the ball down and away from you. Shoot it right down the line. A little bit of a different approach. When you see a sinker ball pitcher, I usually think the left-handed hitters should try to hit the other way, and the right-handed hitters should try to pull them. DeJesus took that ball and hit it right the other way. Especially when they're a submarine guy, because that ball breaks so much. You want to get out and hit that ball before it breaks. The only way to really do that is get the bat head out and pull it down the line if you're a right-handed hitter.
Sends up the catcher, Dan Butler, 0 for 1, fly to right field. Always great to see Jason Varitek, Red Sox captain, on hand, working with the catchers and providing all sorts of wisdom and knowledge from his great career. Tech, one of the guys working as an instructor. Saw him earlier tonight in uniform. A swing and a miss. Butler down, hacking away, and he'll be retired, a strikeout victim. But the Red Sox get a couple of runs and now lead it 2-1 in the fourth.
Attention Twins fans, save your ticket stop from
Essen and Boston 25 have partnered for the next 4 Thursdays for Red Sox spring training games, all at 1 p.m. and inside the Boston market. Those will be exclusively on Boston 25. Outside the Boston market, the games will be on Nesson. This Thursday at 1, Red Sox travel to West Palm Beach to take on the World Series champion Astros. Boston TV market includes the Worcester area and all of southern New Hampshire. Well, pitching change for the Red Sox is Ty Buttrey. Last year between Double and Triple A, 2-5, a 4.81 earned run average. And he inherits a 2-1 lead. Twins will bring up Grossman, Adrianza, and Gordon. This is part of the Chairman's Cup, which when Steve played was known as the Mayor's Cup. Between the Red Sox and the Twins, the second of 7 scheduled meetings between the two. Red Sox have 1 win in the bank back at JetBlue. And I know it's a coveted cup. And Steve, I know you count it as one of the highlights of your career to be on a Mayor's Cup winner.
Well, you know, last year TC couldn't figure out what it was. We were calling it the Chancellor's Cup,
America's Cup,
Tin Cup.
The Tin Cup. Tin Cup wasn't a bad movie.
Oh no,
I enjoy. I mean, Kevin Costner.
Sure. Little Wind Roams.
And you know who's pretty good in Tin Cup?
Rene Russo.
Well, yes, but I mean, so was Don Johnson. Don Johnson was pretty good in Tin Cup as the bad guy, right? Grossman 0 for 1. He's flying to center. I mean, as far as sports films go, that was not bad. It might not be there with Field of Dreams or The Natural.
Major League.
Major. I love Major League.
I do too.
Major League One. The second one should have been burned before they should have held a party and just burned it.
Well, they got a paycheck.
But the first one was tremendous. Very authentic, I thought.
I'd say easily Major League is my favorite baseball movie.
No, it's not your favorite. It's your favorite baseball comedy because it's not in a league with those other films I talked about.
What, Field of Dreams?
It's not. It's with
But
The Natural is a work of art, for crying out loud.
Is Field of Dreams a baseball movie?
Well, of course it is. Yes, it has
know.
shots inside Fenway Park, Steve. Of course it is.
I think it's a story wrapped around baseball.
It's
at
that
best.
too. It's a bit of a fable. DeJesus digs it out. We'll continue this argument in a moment. Right now, let's get it down to Guerin.
Thanks, OB. We'll try this again. Well, I caught up with Ty Buttery, guys, and he was telling me that there is a big difference between Major League camp and minor league camp. He said so far things are going really well, but he's learning a lot of information. He has been working with Pedro Martinez. He said he's been working with him on the backfields and that Martinez has been giving him pointers during his live BP. And, guys, he said it is not every day that you get advice from a Hall of Famer, so it's pretty cool. He said his goals coming into camp, he just wants to work really hard and put himself in the best position to start the season. And so far, he's happy with where he's at.
Well, he seems to know what he's talking about, too. I mean, here comes Pedro Martinez. Pedro Martinez is going to spend some time with me and teach me a couple things. I mean, you don't say anything, do you?
Open your ears and keep your mouth shut.
A good giddy up on that heater.
Now, he's a power guy. You know, occasionally walks get him in trouble, but this is a guy, he's got a big league arm.
Adrianza 0 for 1. He's hit into a fielder's choice. Red Sox in the lead 2-1 in the fourth. Well, you talk about all-time great sports movies. I saw late at night the other night. Was on at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Couldn't sleep. Hoosiers.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously a basketball film, but just phenomenal.
Now you've opened up the genre.
Yeah, Slicer. Tavares on the move, trying to make a sliding stab. It's going to get behind him, backed up by Selsky, but it'll be 2 bases here for Adrianza. Tavares could not make the play.
Second baseman.
Selsky does a good job of backing up this play. He really didn't have a chance to catch this ball. You got to make sure you have communication so there's someone behind you. That ball may have been able to be held for a single if it doesn't get by you.
Nick Gordon, his second at bat. He's flying to center, 0 for 1. So tying run at second for Minnesota. Managed by one of the great hitters that you're ever going to lay eyes on in Paul Molitor.
Paul Molitor had a unique style of hitting as well. You wouldn't really teach many players to hit the way he did. Almost every player in the game will use some type of cocking action to get themselves ready to hit. Paul Molitor had some of the quickest hands you'll ever see and virtually went from a dead standstill to a full swing in a heartbeat.
And hit everything. How about another one? How about Raging Bull? Raging Bull was a work of art.
It is.
Yeah, you know who loves movies? Guerin loves movies.
I do love movies. Now, I'm a big fan of Field of Dreams, but you guys are missing out. League of Their Own. Not
I was
only
gonna
is
say
that
that.
one of the best baseball movies, it's my absolute favorite movie.
There's no crying at baseball.
It's the best. Now, I've actually been having the players fill out sheets of their favorite movies, and a lot of them have said The Sandlot.
Oh, Sandlot, of course,
Classic.
yeah.
Classic.
Naturally. Oh, Sandlot's amazing. It's a terrific film. That's about a lot more than baseball too, and all of the baseball films are.
I got to tell you, League of Their Own gets me choked up at the end every time.
Sure.
When some of the real players come out and they're playing at the Hall of Fame, Doubleday Stadium.
I think an underrated Tom Hanks role. pretty early in his career.
Yeah.
You know, he had to play the manager with the drinking problem.
You would never expect Tom Hanks to be where he is now from where the first time I saw him.
That one's into the alley. That's going to split the outfielders and keep on rolling on top of the warning track. Picked up by Tavares. A run is in. Adrianza scores, and the throw into third is not in time. So this one is tied 2-2 on a triple by Nick Gordon.
Well, Nick Gordon, I'll tell you what, they say that he's got the type of attitude it takes to be a big league player. Needs to get a little bit stronger. He was having a great year last year and kind of got tired out, but this ball's pounded into the gap. An easy triple for the speedy Gordon.
Now back-to-back extra base hits. The infield will be tugged in now by the Red Sox. And Pacheco, the hitter, he has scored a run. It was earlier in the ballgame in the third, and he was actually balked in by Elias, who committed 2 balks in that inning.
You know, I don't think it's any surprise, really, that Nick Gordon is playing second base in tonight's ball game. He is a shortstop. Played shortstop his whole career, although how brief that is. But I think they're worried if anything happens to Dozier at second base that he may be the answer.
Dozier is a Gold Glover who hits a ton of home runs. There was some talk last season that maybe he'd be on the trade block. And they held on to him. Very wise move, and they wound up going to postseason play, winning the wild card. And he's one of the true stars for this Minnesota club, certainly along with Joe Mauer. Joe had a good year last year. After a couple of years where he started to settle back, picked up by Marrero, and he'll flip on with the runner holding. 2 down. So the Red Sox bringing the infield in, paid off there, as Gordon wasn't going anywhere. 2 away, and Bobby Wilson the hitter. Tied up 2-2 here in the 4th. Wilson's 0 for 1. He's tapped back to the pitcher. Now the great Torrey Hunter. One of the more charismatic players in recent Major League history. Great outfielder in his own right, of course. What did he win? 8 Gold Gloves?
Great teacher. He's going to leave camp and go see his son play. His son, Torrey Jr., who was the football player at Notre Dame. Graduated, all done with football. Got a degree in IT management. Guess what? He's playing baseball now. He's in the Angel organization. Hit .352 last year.
Wow.
Torrey's going to go see his son out there and see how he's progressing as a 22-year-old minor leaguer for the Los Angeles Angels now.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good to be Torrey's kid. Inherit a great deal of ability.
Torrey told me his dad's 66 years old, can jump up and touch the rim.
Look at these two working with Joe Mauer. Great shot there. 2 former teammates.
You know who I saw down on the field, too, for the Twins today? Tony Oliva. Wow.
He could hit a bit.
Oh, my goodness.
He could hit a bit.
And he looks great. He looks better now than he did 10 years ago.
Good for him.
80 years old.
Wow. He could, as they say, swing the shillelagh. Runner at third and rolled foul. Torrey Hunter, of course, did not make the catch, but it was the most spectacular missed great catch I've ever seen on the David Ortiz Grand Slam in Game 1 of the ALCS. Almost killed himself. I mean, he could have been very seriously hurt.
And he could have really put a dagger into the hearts of every Red Sox fan had he come up with that one.
It was an amazing effort. If anybody was going to catch it, it was going to be Torrey. And he did not, gratefully. Big Papi with a grand slam to tie the game. Red Sox would go on and win not only that game, that one in extra innings, but won that ALCS against the Tigers and then the World Series. How things may have been different.
Wow. Game of inches.
And he made that play, but he did not. Fouled away and almost got Gordon off third. It was in foul ground anyway.
How about for love of the game?
You know, the only problem I had with for love of the game was the acting.
The color announcer?
There was one particular color guy who just didn't sell it, if you ask me.
I deserved an Oscar for that movie.
It just wasn't authentic enough. That was some performance by you, Psycho. That's for sure. You and Vin Scully were the broadcast team, right?
I am the last person ever to work with Vin Scully.
That's right, because you worked alone.
Yeah. Always worked alone, and I got to work with him in that movie, and that's it.
Yes. We'll talk about some of those acting notes during the commercial break, but this one is
not a great movie, by the way.
No, you put it mildly.
What do you...
Join us this Saturday when the Red Sox will battle the Yankees for the annual Red Sox Foundation Day broadcast. That's at 1 p.m. Foundation will be auctioning off a limited number of game-used jerseys featuring the Red Sox Foundation patch. To bid on your favorite player's jersey and for more info, visit redsox.com/RSF auction. Red Sox Foundation Game Day on NESN is presented by Biogen Foundation, igniting a passion for science. Locked up 2-2 here as we bring it to fifth inning. And Hanoi Tavares is 0 for 1 with a fly to left, taking on a new pitcher. The left-hander is Taylor Rogers from Minnesota. Castillo on deck. Devers after him.
Rogers has had an inning of work, struck out 2 in that inning. Look at those numbers. 69 games last year for Rogers. They're running him out there. Kept that ERA right around 3.
Workhorse.
This is where you don't really want to see him. He's in good position. Throw that hard slider down and away.
The 2-1 to Tavares. And got him. Saw those knees. And he strikes him out looking, 1 away. Rusney on the night, 1 for 2 with a base hit.
It's an interesting pitch right there when you think about it. I called hard slider down and away. Went with a curveball instead. If you're a left-handed hitter and you're thinking slider down and away, you're kind of leaning out over. And he throws that curveball at you, just buckles your knee, and you can't pull the trigger.
Gordon will pick this off the dirt. 2 down. Castillo with a base hit his first time up, 1 for 3 now. Devers will be next. Rafael tonight has reached on there by the shortstop and popped to short. The only other players since 1913 to hit safely in at least 17 of their first 20 games before they got to the age of 21 were Roberto Clemente and Pudge Rodriguez.
Roberto Clemente. It's pretty good company.
So is Pudge Rodriguez.
Yep.
Hall of Famer as well. Now, one of the things that I thought separated Devers was his ability to handle lefties. He hit 400 against left-handed pitching. 20 out of 50. And showed right away that he can handle both sides, lefties and righties. And Rogers with a 1-2, a slice foul. Hanley on deck. In what way is Field of Dreams not a baseball movie? You have confounded me with that one. There's baseball all over the place.
Well, yeah, but it's just.
I mean, Shoeless Joe comes out of the corn for crying out loud. Popped up, tested here, Polanco, and makes the play. Drops it. Turned around and dropped it. He had the final out in his glove. And Devers is safe at first base.
Boy, they've made some strange errors in today's ball game. This is a ball that's supposed to be caught all day long.
That's their third error. So it means Hanley will bat now with a man on. The go-ahead run for the Red Sox. He has doubled and popped up 1 for 2.
I just thought Field of Dreams was a great story told around baseball. There's no question there's baseball in it, but that outside of the guys coming out of the cornfield to play baseball, that's the only time you're actually seeing any baseball. That was just the backdrop for a.
Yeah, but then you get to the speech by James Earl Jones, which is the central point of the film.
But he could have been reading the phone book, and it would have been awesome.
True enough, but he wasn't talking about football. He wasn't talking about soccer. Baseball, Ray. Baseball.
If you build it.
Popped on the infield. In comes Pacheco. And we'll put that away to retire the side. Red Sox do not take advantage of the error. Still tied up 2-2.
Homeowner Protect.
Thursday, the Bruins will host the reigning Stanley Cup champs, the Pittsburgh Penguins. And after making big moves before the trade deadline, the Bees open to make a climb up to the top of the East. Coverage begins Thursday night at 6 with the Ultimate Bruins Show on NESN. Big trade, expecting great things come the playoffs for the Bees. Here's Teddy Stankiewicz out of the bullpen. And he becomes the third Red Sox pitcher here tonight. Is what he did at Portland last year, for the most part as a starter.
Pretty decent strikeout to walk ratio there, 3-1.
He'll get the top of the order for the Twins. And that means Byron Buxton, who has singled and struck out. At the midway point tonight here at Hammond Field. Just a short cab ride from JetBlue.
Unless it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Unless it's 6 o'clock, you hit traffic, and it's more like half hour. Into left field down the line. Selski will not get it. That's going to be a fair ball. Buxton flying into second base, taking a wide turn, but he'll settle for the double to lead off the inning.
I do like that play right there out of Buxton. He's probably not going to get any triples down the left field line. He's already got one today, but he's going to hustle all the way around second base in case someone makes a little bobble or you don't dig it out of that corner. Look at him right out of the box. He's flying. Gets around first and he's hustling to second now, thinking, well, maybe. Pretty tough to get a triple down the left field line, isn't it?
He's got effortless speed, doesn't he?
Just gliding.
Polanco, a fly out and a fielder's choice, play on at second base. Twins have now out-hit the Sox 5-3. In for a strike. Encouraging to hear Dustin Pedroia talk about his rehab and how well that's going. Coming back from the offseason knee procedure. He's happy with his progress.
Do you think Dustin would ever not be positive about anything like that? I mean, that's just kind of who he is, right? No, it's going great. I'm right on target. I'm going to be fine.
Well, I would expect him to be honest about it. and not shade the truth. I think if it were a situation where it were a real problem and he wouldn't see coming back in May as is his target date, I think he'd probably talk about it if pressed. I know he doesn't like to talk about injuries. He never does. I mean, he's played entire seasons hurt with something busted, and you're like,
yeah, he's never honest about how it happens. You know what I mean? He's always hurt. He's not. No, I'm fine. I'm good. But I'm ready to go.
I found, asked a direct question. If you happen to know that he's hurt, and this case he's come back from surgery, so everybody knows it. I think he's all about being honest about it. I think he's actually excited about the progress here.
That's good.
Red Sox, of course, did sign Eduardo Nunez, who gave the ball club such a nice lift last year. He had injury concerns of his own coming off last season, the tail end of last year.
Former Twin, Eduardo Nunez.
Yep. Got him. He struck him out, caught him looking. And Polanco will take a seat. Let's get down to Garrett Austin.
Well, OB, Steve, what a day for J.D. Martinez yesterday. The announcement was finally made, and his mom and dad were there. Martinez said that having his parents there was huge. The sacrifices, the dedication while raising him was second to none, and he thanks them every day. He said they are not just his parents, they are his best friends. And for them to come from another country, have the personal success that they've had is inspiring. And Alex Cora was talking about JD's preparation again today, and he said he really thinks he's going to be a positive influence on the younger players in this clubhouse.
Centerfielder Tavares will make the catch. The runner tags at second. Buxton scoots on down to third base, two-way.
But OB, he said we won't expect to see him in a game until next week. He said his schedule is really off and they want to give him some time to get acclimated. But guys, he looks pretty acclimated at the ping pong table in the clubhouse today.
Yeah, they've got another player, the Red Sox. They've got some very serious ping pong guys, and he's going to fit right in.
He's not going to step right in and dominate, is he? They have some pretty good guys in there.
Mookie Betts is serious. He's serious with everything he does, but whatever sport that might be. But JD indeed fits right in there. So 2 down, a man at third. See the power from Rosario last year. He drove in 78 runs. Butler with a nice stop on a pitch into the dirt for ball one.
Are you at all surprised at the timetable for when JD will see his first game action?
You know, I'm not. I get it. I know that there's some people out there like, well, come on. I've been waiting on him and waiting on him. He finally make the announcement, get him into some games. And I think you got to be smart about that. He's got to be smart about it. He wants to hit first. He wants to do some things in the cage and then work his way in. It's spring training. Looks like it carried away with this isn't the regular season. There's still 5 weeks left. Well, 4 weeks left before opening day.
He hasn't seen any live pitching.
Hasn't seen live pitching. That's the biggest thing.
It was kind of strange that there was only like, what, 3 or 4 full workouts before the Red Sox played their first game. Much quicker than the way it used to be. But most hitters will tell you spring training's at least 10 days too long anyway, so he's going to have plenty of time.
Well, to your point, Major League Baseball this year for the first week of spring training games was not requiring clubs when they travel to bring the necessary allotment of major league players, you know, off the 25-man roster for the first week. Now you're seeing those guys start to make their trips. For example, Rick Porcello will pitch on Thursday in our game against West Palm Beach, against the Astros in West Palm Beach. Cut on a miss by Rosario, and the side is retired. Stankiewicz, good work there to hold that runner at third base.
It's Jim from Ace.
Tonight's Red Sox spring training game on NESN is brought to you in part by Ace Ticket, where Red Sox fans go for tickets to all their favorite events. Sports, concerts, theater, and more. Ace has the best selection at the lowest prices. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS right now. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garrett Austin with you from Red Sox spring training. And tonight taking on the Twins in their home ballpark here at Hammond Stadium in a 2-2 tie. Twins to make several changes here, and on the mound they're going to have Gabriel Moya, left-hander. He'll get 4, 5, and 6 in the Red Sox batting order. That'll start off with Steve Selsky, who went 0 for 2 his first couple of at-bats tonight. Pop up and a flyout. So he will be the 5th hurler tonight for the Twins.
Moya's not what you'd call a very smooth operator out there on the mound. Very herky-jerky. You see a lot of knees and elbows coming at you. Got to force yourself to wait to find a release point to pick up the baseball. Don't swing at all the extra action.
Little topper there to third, but a foul ball.
Defensive changes for the Twins. On center field, 90, James Ramsey. Now playing shortstop, number 40, Gregorio Tate. Now playing right field, number 12, Ryan Lamar. Left field, 73, Lon Wade. Second base, 85, Sean Miller.
Sam Travis on deck. And the 0-2. And he snuck it in there to strike him out. One man gone here in the 6th.
Designated hitter Sam Travis.
Whole new battery here from Minnesota. In fact, several changes.
Good placement on this pitch. Inner half, right on the corner. Selsky couldn't pull the trigger on it. Selsky might not be having quite the spring training he had last year when he surprised a lot of people and made the team.
Sawyer, the new catcher, changes at just about every spot. They have a new right fielder. Kepler now out of the ball game, and Lamar is now in.
Lamar was with the Red Sox organization last year.
Wade in left. Ramsey in center, taking over for Buxton. They've got a new middle infield, Petit at short and Miller at second. And that'll be in tight for a ball on Travis. He struck out and reached on an error by the third baseman and came around to score in the 4th inning when the Red Sox got their only 2 runs. And the 0-2 got him. Struck him out. 2-way.
Shortstop Devin Marrero.
Featherston, the new third baseman. In there for a called strike on Marrero, who has whiffed and grounded to third. That's Paul over there at first base. And you are up to date.
Takes almost a whole inning to get you up to date in a
Doesn't it?
spring training game when they make changes. By the time you announce everybody, he's being replaced by the next guy.
What do you think about fever pitch on our movies conversation? That's what you said?
Big Boston movie.
Fly to first base, popped up to Paul, and he'll put it away. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox through 5.5. 2-2 game here at Hammond Field. Miss Nesson, next producer, showcasing the next generation of New England's filmmakers. Talking a lot about movies tonight. Saturday, we take a look at student films from Central Connecticut State and Wellesley College. Nesson Next Producer, presented in part by BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. Somebody screamed at me from our production crew, "Why have you forgotten Bull Durham, you idiot?" That was at me, not you.
We were saving it. A little suspense.
Red Sox with a couple of changes. Rivera now at shortstop. Jerry Downs taking over at first base. You came up with a good one. How about Bang the Drum Slowly?
Yeah.
A young Robert De Niro as the catcher. Phenomenal. Not the baseball scenes weren't great, but all the other scenes were.
Well, same thing with Bull Durham. Good movie, fun movie,
right.
Bad baseball.
Yeah. DeJesus with a little flip on to first base, one away. And Guerin screamed at us about Summer Catch as well. That's one of her all-time favorites. And also called me a nasty name, which I'll forgive her for. But, I mean, I saw, Summer Catch was Freddie Prinze Jr., right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would call it one of my all-time favorites, but I think it's a good summer movie. It's a fun baseball movie. I like it.
It was awful. Just awful.
It wasn't awful.
Terrible.
I wouldn't go that far, but
well, of course you wouldn't. It was bad.
Was that Sarah Michelle Gellar in that too, or who was the female lead?
Jessica Biel, Justin Timberlake's wife.
Jessica Biel. That's right.
I like Bull Durham, like Fever Pitch. I like them all. Baseball movie, I like it.
You can't like them all, Guerin.
I do, though.
You lose all credibility if you like them all.
I'm okay with that. I'm a positive person. I like all the baseball movies.
That's fine, but you could be you have to be a discerning viewer, and, some of them are real dogs. Let's be honest. Some of the baseball movies are terrible.
My neighbor's like that. Loves to go to movies. Loves all of them.
All of them, yeah.
I'm like, that movie was terrible. Thought about walking out of that movie.
Right.
No, all the guns they had, the shooting and all that stuff. I mean, come on.
Have you ever walked out of a movie?
Yeah. You know what I walked out of? What About Bob?
What About Bob? Wow. A lot of people love that.
I didn't. Must not have been in the mood.
Was that Bill Murray?
Yeah.
And Richard Dreyfuss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm with you on that. I did not like that movie either.
Those two hated each other, I guess.
Yeah.
They did not get along at all working with each other. I don't know why I read that recently.
I think another movie that I disliked when I saw it the first time, and I've warmed to it a little bit, but I just thought I'm just not cool enough to like this movie, I guess. Pulp Fiction, I was not a fan of the first time I saw it.
Not a great baseball film.
Not a great baseball film. Couldn't tell what era we were talking about. I didn't know what, I kept looking for bad Volkswagen buses in the background. I wasn't sure what time frame they were in.
Yeah. In terms of all-time great sports movies, that does not make the top 10.
Not even close.
On target for the out at first base, so 2 up and 2 down. How about 8 Men Out?
Pretty good movie, actually.
I thought so. I thought a lot of good acting in that film.
I actually got a chance to teach a few of the players how to play.
Kyrie Washington taken up in left field. You did a little advising on that.
Yes.
What did that gig pay, Steve?
There was no pay. That was us taking batting practice and a few of the guys showing up saying, "Hey, can we take some ground balls?" John Cusack taught him how to play third base.
John Cusack's a nice guy. I met John at Wrigley Field because he's a huge Cubs fan. He rides his bicycle to Wrigley Field to watch the Cubs.
Also taught Tom Selleck how to play first base for his what was where he went to go to Japan and play.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Baseball.
Mr. Baseball, yeah. Well, there's another one for the list. Yeah, Mr. Baseball.
Not a good movie.
Not a great film, but kind of an interesting insight into Japanese baseball and some of the culture. Well, you've got quite a resume in films. That one ripped into right field, down the line for extra bases. So this will be at least 2. Another extra base hit for the Twins. They've been knocking on the door each of the last 3 innings. They've had a total of 4 extra base hits over that time and only 1 run. And that'll bring up Lamar.
It's a huge hole down the line there. They were bunching the outfield. It made it kind of look like a single to right field. It turned into a double to right field.
So go ahead run at second for the Twins. Minnesota's gone heavy to their bench.
Lamar says he's happy to be in the Minnesota organization because it's a huge hockey area. He's a big hockey fan, played hockey.
Bounces away from the catcher. It's going to keep on rolling to the backstop. That'll advance the runner. So Wade safely into third.
Sometimes when you're a catcher, there's not a whole lot you can do. You throw your whole body out there in front of it. You try to round yourself off. And they throw that 55-foot curveball, and it bounces back the other way when the ball hits the dirt. Sometimes it just skips away from you. You can't do anything about it.
Butler still behind there for the Red Sox, and a 1-0 line shot, and the catch made. Now DeJesus, quick reaction to haul that one in and retire the side and keep it a 2-2 game. Well, all tied up 2-2 as we begin the 7th inning. It's Jake Reed, the new pitcher. And for the Twins last year, toiling at double and AAA, threw it well, a 2.13 ERA. And DeJesus made an outstanding play to end the inning and freeze that go-ahead run at third base, so he will lead off here. Sox have been held to 3 hits. How about the rookie? The rookie wasn't bad. That was a pretty good baseball film.
When he used the radar detector on the side of the road to see how fast he was throwing.
I kind of like the rookie. Punch down the line, foul. You know, we're just coming off the Winter Olympics. It's not obviously not a baseball film, but Downhill Racer. Do you remember Robert Redford, Downhill Racer? I thought that was awfully good.
Awful or awfully good?
Awfully good.
Yeah. Were you hedging your bets?
No,
I don't remember that movie. I don't think I ever saw that one.
A little before your time. I
Not
guess.
A baseball movie either?
Not a baseball
sort
movie.
Sort of like Pulp Fiction?
Exactly like Pulp Fiction in the non-baseball category. That's going to be fair down the line. Up against the side wall. Lamar has to dig it. Wide turn. Throw comes into second. He's going to go back to first. And a base hit for DeJesus.
He decided about 3 different times to think about going to second base and finally thought better of it and scampered back. Watch him coming down the line here. He's thinking he might have a shot at 2, and then you get this weird carom off the wall. This is a tough decision. The play's right in front of you, but you have to decide where the ball bounces, and Lamar got on that quick. Another hit for DeJesus, though.
He had a double and an RBI in the 4th inning, so he's 2 for 3. Sends up Butler, who's hitless tonight. He's flied to right and struck out. Sox lost for the first time in spring training earlier today, a 6-1 to the St. Louis Cardinals. They're now 4-1 on the spring. We'll invite in the Pittsburgh Pirates over at JetBlue tomorrow afternoon, and they'll go to West Palm Beach to do battle with the Astros. Red Sox will send out Rick Porcello on Thursday against Charlie Morton. Colin McHugh also scheduled to pitch in that game, so we're going to see some rotation guys, both rotations, and start seeing more and more.
You were very cool about that foul ball that hit right in front of you.
I'm in midseason form for coolness.
Except for when it's like 90 in the daytime here.
Unless it's coming right at my nose.
It was very close.
Under the table, baby.
That was the pitch right there that I was hoping Butler would get ahead and get a hold of. So true what they say, and so many of your at-bats, you get one pitch that you're going to handle well. You got to hit it.
Our man Jeff Mitchell for all-time sports movies. How about Slapshot?
Oh, now we're talking. Great flick.
I wouldn't recommend Slapshot under a certain age.
Nope.
But outstanding. Paul Newman, great in this film. Great in this film. But hilarious. Drop down funny stuff. Fouled that one off his foot. But it's not PG.
And not a baseball movie.
It's definitely not a baseball movie.
We've broadened our horizons here.
Yes, it's a terrific hockey film. Minor league hockey. There have been a lot of dogs out there when it comes to sports movies. So we're just talking about, you know, the really well done ones, or at least the great storylines.
Well, how about Brian's song?
Brian's song was not in movie theaters. It was a TV movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Great movie, though.
Yeah.
Was a TV movie. James Caan. Billy D.
Williams, who was the great Gale Sayers. Brian Piccolo, yeah. That was I thought it was outstanding. And if you could keep from crying,
not a chance.
There was something wrong with you.
Not a chance.
You had to go get checked out.
And then back to baseball movies. That's what I said. I get choked up every time League of Their Own when Madonna sings "This Used to Be My Playground," and they have the older women from the baseball leagues playing at
Love
Cooperstown.
that song. Runner goes in a foul ball.
I got to act like I have to go to the bathroom.
I hear you.
Dry the eyes.
No, it's.
And then you're right about Brian's song too. Boy, when they schedule the surgery.
Oh yeah. Yeah. James Caan, he died well. He also died really well in The Godfather.
I don't know. Well,
as Sonny Corleone.
It was good acting. I don't know if that's a good way to go.
I didn't say that. Throw down to second base. Here's the tag, and going to get him by about 5 feet. So DeJesus is out on a strike him out, throw him out, double play. Just like that, 2-away. The Red Sox with a play on.
I see. Well, he's going straight steal. He's going to peek in. He just doesn't have the greatest jump, and that's like the play in Major League where the guy's sliding in and he slides. Willie Mays Hayes slides way too fast, and the guy says, "Come on, closer. I got to tag you now."
Closer, yep.
Hey, good callback to our earlier topics.
So Tavares 0 for 2 tonight. Red Sox giveaways return to Fenway Park in 2018, including player bobbleheads, gnomes, and much more. For tickets and information on the entire 2018 giveaway lineup, visit redsox.com/promos. On the infield to short, Petit on target to retire the side. That's all through 6.5. Still locked up 2-2. A Thursday, the Bruins will host the reigning Stanley Cup champs, the Pittsburgh Penguins. And after making big moves, the trade deadline, the Bees are hoping to make a climb up to the top of the East. Coverage begins Thursday night at 6 with the Ultimate Bruins Show on NESN. Last half of the 7th inning coming your way. Having a little bit of fun tonight with your favorite sports movies. We've got to do a poll the next time we talk about this. I'd really love to find out what people think of as their best baseball movies. Hey, there's only one TC, mister.
Maybe that is him in the outfit. Tom Caron is actually TC here tonight.
Mr. Twin Cities. You talk about some of the worst of all time. How about The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh? How bad was that?
Well, I'm happy to say I never saw it. That's how bad it was.
I sat through it. I think I paid for it. Floater into left center field. And he'll put it away for out number 1. Let's get down to Garrett.
Well, OB Steve, switching from movies to injuries, we learned the other day that Michael Chavis injured his oblique while taking a swing, and he's going to miss some time. Cora said that he is making progress, but it's still going to be a while. Chavis said that he's really focusing on getting better, guys, because he doesn't want this to be a problem that comes up later in the season. And Marco Hernandez is back with the team. He returned to Boston to have a pin removed from his shoulder. He is resting before he starts rehabbing. Also, Eduardo Nunez, guys, we should see him DH in a game next week. And Cora said that Stephen Wright is making a lot of progress, and tomorrow is a big day for Tyler Thornburg. He will throw his first bullpen since his shoulder surgery. And guys, earlier today, Nick Cafardo tweeted that closer Craig Kimbrell will be returning to Boston to be with his infant daughter, who will be having her second heart procedure. Guys.
All right, Garen, thank you so much. The Kimbrells are going through an awful lot right now, and your heart breaks for him. It goes out for the family, and we hope that things will go well. And it would be great to see Marco back as well, and Stephen Wright making progress. That's a very good sign.
Chavis thing's a little tough. You thought you were going to get a chance to see him play a little bit. It would have been a nice spring training for him to make an impression, and I would be surprised if you see him in a big league game, because if you strain an oblique like it sounds like he did, you need to give that enough time. They don't want that to be an injury that goes into the season.
Yeah. Now, top Red Sox prospect. And a bit of a setback there. Chopper to third base. And a quick 2 outs.
That's as much fun as you're ever going to have as a third baseman right there. Guy hits you a 2-hopper. The ball almost catches you and you throw him out.
Enjoy the Fenway experience with your group in 2018. Red Sox group outings are the perfect way to entertain your clients, boost employee morale, and much more. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Bases empty, 2 away here in the 7th inning. Stankiewicz has pitched pretty well a couple of times with a runner in scoring position. In fact, at third base, he's been able to pitch out of it and not allow that go-ahead run.
You mentioned that earlier. It's kind of what the Red Sox have been able to do all night. Give up some extra base hits and not really have them come back to hurt them.
That's going to get him. He's hit by the pitch. So the Twins with a base runner with 2 away.
First baseman, Chris Paul.
Sturgeon in center field. He took over for Tavares. Jordan Betts over at third base. And Scott in right field. Little dribbler. Here comes Betts. It hugs the grass, and he's going to stick it in his back pocket. It'll be a base hit. So an infield single keeps the inning alive. Runners at first and second for Minnesota.
Part of being a decent third baseman is knowing when not to throw the ball. Kind of have a little clock in the back of your head knowing, hey, you know the runner's running. You have to run almost as far as he does to go get this ball. No reason to throw it and potentially throw it away when there's a guy standing on second base.
So 2 men aboard. And Stankiewicz again trying to pitch out of a mini jam. And he misses for ball 1. Oscar Hernandez behind the plate for the Red Sox. Two down, but two on. Right to Rivera, and from a knee, he'll complete the out to retire the side. Two left. Through 7. A 2-2 game.
Little Douglas Dorsey.
Hey, don't miss a game this season. You can import the NESN Red Sox calendar into your favorite desktop, web, or mobile calendar. Get automatic alerts 15 minutes prior to each game. Alerts include matchup info, streaks, and a lot more. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import the schedule before the season opener on March 29th. That's right, we said March 29th for the season opener at Tampa Bay. Right-hander Curtis, the new pitcher now for Minnesota, as Scott will lead things off for the Red Sox. Both sides have gone heavy to the benches. We're being rightfully chastised by our crew here for not mentioning a really good baseball film. And Steve, you said you were in it. I don't recall that, but Moneyball.
I was not in it. My voice was in it.
In what way? Why was your voice in it?
I called the playoff game when Brad Pitt was sitting out in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah, at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
Remember that.
But the one I also failed to mention.
It was actual audio from your call, yeah.
They called and asked if I wanted a part. They wanted me to be one of those radio guys that are like, these guys stink, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, well, I'm already in it. And they said, oh, that's right, the voice. And so they wouldn't let me do both, which was fine with me.
Scott with a high fly center field, driving back Ramsey, but room there to put it away.
But another baseball film that I was actually in and I didn't mention because it was so easily forgettable, I literally forgot, was The Fan.
The Fan was dreadful, yeah. That was dreadful.
De Niro and
Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. Terrible. Dark.
One of those that when De Niro talks about his film catalog, he leaves it off. It was that bad.
Well, he did that a few times. He went to a genre a couple too many times in his career.
Bad News Bears. Bad News Bears was great. Walter Matthau, great stuff. Yeah. Love that one.
Wasn't the kid in the movie, wasn't his name Kelly Slater? Was the Hood kid, the shortstop?
Yes.
Tatum O'Neal.
Check swing and a roller to first base. And Paul will feed over to Curtis for the out. 2 down.
All the baseball sequel movies, terrible. Bad News Bears 2, or,
Yep.
That's a big excuse me swing right there.
Major League 2.
Anything 2.
Right. Better left alone, most of them. First time. John Curtis, double in AAA last year. He sparkled. 1.28 ERA and hard to hit.
Mr. 3000.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
No. Bernie Mac.
You've actually you've been in your fair share of baseball films.
Yeah, I'm typecast.
I had a very, very small part in a film with Matthew Broderick and Alan Alda. I mean, a tiny, tiny little piece, but actually had to go in and do it. And I'm embarrassed to tell you, the movie was about, it's actually a pretty interesting story about a baseball card that Alan Alda's character was trying to sell. And I can't remember the name of the movie. I can't remember the name.
Me and you both writing off our worst films. The Fan for me, and you don't even know.
The only one. Tied 2-2. Season ticket plans provide fans with the best seats, price, benefits that the Red Sox have to offer. Plans start at 10 games and are available now. For more information, go to redsox.com/season tickets or call 877-RED SOX 9 today. So Sox will go back to the bullpen here, and Jimenez will come on to deliver in the last half of the 8th inning. And he'll take on 5, 6, and 7 for Minnesota. Edgar Jimenez. One of our guys brought up the Monty Stratton story. What do you think? Did you see that?
I saw Monty Python. I didn't see the Monty Stratton story. No.
Not the same thing. And who was worse as Babe Ruth, William Bendix or John Goodman?
Bendix, definitely. Actually, Goodman was filming that down in West Palm Beach, Florida in 1992 when I was with the Braves, and I hung out with him a little bit.
It's like 6 degrees of separation for Steve Lyons, you know, right through, you know, The Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of the great films of all time, Citizen Kane, you know, 6 moves.
You could see me right in the background there.
And you were in some really bad movies, man. Good for you. Popped him up, center field. Sturgeon and second baseman Rivera out there. So 1 man away here in the last half of the 8th. What was the Lou Gehrig story? The Lou Gehrig film.
Yeah, Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees. Yeah.
Today.
Red Sox put Santiago Espinal now at second base. So every position is now switched for the Red Sox. And a pop to first base. Downs. Plenty of time to get under. A little bit of a wind there. Ain't finally able to make a play on it, but that wind has kicked up over the last couple of innings. It took it back. So 2 away. This is not a night the Red Sox, even though they were very successful in extra innings last year, would be dying to go to extra innings because they've already played today. Not these guys, but the coaching staff has had a long day.
Yeah, they're ready for a dinner and a shower.
Red Sox with a split squad day. Way the batter, base is empty. And Jimenez fires a strike. It's hard to make a good sports movie because the scenes that matter the most oftentimes are the live action, you know, the action shots, the action of that particular sport. And
actors
most of the time they're terrible.
play.
Yeah, a lot of them can't. Some of them can.
Robbie Benson was a great basketball player, actually. And what was that movie he played in?
One-on-One.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was actually a very good basketball player.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed
All
that.
right.
Yeah. And Charlie Sheen looked like he could really pitch. You know, we're tied up 2-2.
He could throw.
Yeah. Tonight's Red Sox spring training game on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket. It's more than a ticket. Visit aceticket.com or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. And by Jordan's Furniture, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Sox tied up here with Minnesota 2-2. Going to the 9th inning. And a new pitcher for the Twins is Williams Ramirez. So they've now used 8 guys tonight.
One every inning.
And Dimitri Jimenez, the last guy to throw. Kyrie Washington will lead things off here.
Ramirez is making his first spring training appearance. Saw the numbers for him last year.
Kyrie responsible for the only grand slam the Red Sox have hit so far in spring training. Did not hit one during the regular season last year. Red Sox with the home run deficiency, a big issue that the hope is has been remedied, and certainly Washington jumped on one on the college doubleheader day and drove it down the line. That was against Northeastern.
First pitch he swung at. First swing of the spring.
Yes, indeed. Grand slam. Sam Travis is on deck. That's Lamont Wade down left field for Minnesota. And a 3-1. Good count here for Washington. He went for it. 3-2. Two runs on 7 hits for the Twins. They have survived to this point 3 errors. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Sox, who have not made an error. And that's going to be ball 4, so Washington is on. So the Red Sox have the leadoff man aboard here in the 9th in a 2-2 game.
Could use a run, that's for sure.
So Sam Travis trying to make something happen. Pretty quiet night so far. He's 0 for 3. He did reach on an error and score a run back in the 4th inning.
Travis, one of the few guys going the whole way tonight.
He'll take a strike. These early at bats in spring training in the early games. As a hitter, what are you looking to do?
Just find a way to make solid contact. You know, you got to remember that they've taken a lot of swings in batting practice, but very few swings off of live pitching. And almost every hitter will tell you the last thing they want to do is take live swings in practice. You know, when they have the pitchers and the big name pitchers on any team, they have to throw on their side sessions. They have hitters stand in. No one likes to do that. You just know you're going to look bad. But that's the only other opportunity you have to actually face live pitching. So you've had very few at bats. Just try to make solid contact somehow, and you'll be happy. You know, when it's Chris Sale's turn to have his side session and they throw hitters in there, do you want to be one of those hitters?
I see a lot of guys get the Sale flu.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on the other field today.
Yeah, that's no fun any time of the year.
See a lot of guys with high numbers and no names on their back.
Well, another 3-1 count. He did walk Washington. On the verge of doing the same thing with Travis.
Well, Travis is going to look for a pitch right here in one spot, one location. Probably sit on a fastball, and he's going to try to jump the yard if he likes it. He liked it. Came up empty.
Yeah, it's the same thing Washington did on the 3-1 pitch. He tried to uncork one and came up empty. So 3-2. Rivera will be next. Yeah, the payoff pitch. Runner goes. So Alex Cora had a man in motion. He's actually done that a little bit more tonight than we saw in the first couple of spring training games.
Yeah, I think he wants to be aggressive, but he's got to have the right personnel out there to do it with, obviously. But, you know, I think more than, you know, the few guys on the team that can really steal bases, I think he wants to be a team that goes first to third with anybody, first to home with anybody, run the bases correctly, get good jumps, read situations.
Three-two runner goes again. Hit well to right field, driving back Lamar all the way into the corner, and he can't get it. It's going to drop down. He kicks it around a little bit. Here comes Washington. He is in to score, and the Red Sox have the lead on a shot down the right field line by Sam Travis. On top 3-2 here in the ninth.
I'm not sure what Washington did there, if he had a great read on that, thinking that Lamar wasn't going to catch up with it, or if he figured he was too far past second base, whereas if Lamar caught it, he wouldn't be able to get back anyway. There's the swing. The ball goes deep into right field. Watch Washington. He's still running. If Lamar catches this, he's dead. I don't think he really knew where that ball was. He might have got decoyed out there. At any rate, he keeps going, and he ended up scoring because of it.
And the Red Sox in the ninth up by 1. Chance to add on another now for Rivera, as Travis scooted on down to second base. Red Sox hopeful of splitting their games today. Kerry Washington all grins there. It worked out.
Sometimes.
Softly hit to the shortstop, Petit. He'll gobble and get him down to third, Travis. So one away for the Sox here in the ninth inning, and another run 90 feet away. So Minnesota will bring in the infield. Espinal will hit. He will bat for the first time in this one.
Kind of what we were hoping to see here in this ninth inning. Someone get it started. Someone drive the ball somewhere. Get a run on the board. Put it away.
You know, had a pretty good night tonight. Second baseman Ivan De Jesus Jr. He had a couple of hits and made some fine defensive plays.
Yep.
Hanley Ramirez doubled and scored in this one. Sam Travis just had an RBI double. Not a lot of hits in this contest, but the Sox have nudged out in front 3-2. One down in the 0-2 from the righty.
Whoa. Twins are going to cut the run off at home.
Travis the man at third base for the Sox. And here's the 1-2. Twisting pop-up foul. Paul giving chase.
Not a good effort by the guy in the stands to try to catch that ball.
It's early. It's early in spring training. Early for everybody. Foul tipped and held for strike three. Espinal out, and they're a two away. It'll bring up Oscar Hernandez.
Catcher Oscar Hernandez.
Still a chance to drive in a run and give the Red Sox a little bit of breathing room. And started with a breaking ball for ball one. Red Sox started right-hander Chandler Shepard tonight. And he pitched pretty well again. 2 scoreless innings.
Now, the play that I love in this situation, and I doubt we're going to see Oscar Hernandez do it, we just don't see anyone do it anymore, is drop a bunt down the third baseline. Nobody thinks you're going to bunt. The third baseman's playing in left field. All you have to do is get it past the pitcher. Look at the room you'd have to drop a bunt down. You're going to score a run and you'd get a hit. But very few people do that anymore.
I would amend that and say nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, and it's wide open for so many players to do.
Instead, that's deep into the alley, but on the run, Wade, and he will make the play to retire the side. But the Red Sox do pick up a run, now trying to win it in the middle of the ninth, 3-2 Boston. Well, are you still looking for group tickets to opening day or premier games against the Yankees? Limited hospitality packages remain for these and most games. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Sox trying to hold on to this one. They lead it 3-2 against Minnesota. This would be very damaging to the Twins' hopes for the Chairman's Cup should they lose tonight. So there's some added drama there.
The Chancellor's Cup?
The Chairman's Cup was formerly the Mayor's Cup.
The Mayor's Cup?
You keep, misnaming it on purpose. So Jimenez trying to hold. Red Sox ahead 3-2. The victory puts the Sox at 5-1 for spring training. And Lamar, the former Red Sox, taking ball one. Boston with only 5 hits, but out in front. Twins have 7. Minnesota expected to vie for a postseason spot again. They were a wild card team at 85 and 77 last year. They have a very good club coming back again.
Would you say that they play in a fairly weak division?
Yeah, outside of themselves and the Cleveland Indians, yeah.
And the Indians, you knew coming in, would be the class of that division. They kind of have to a little slow start, but finished strong.
Lamar on with a leadoff base hit here in the 9th.
And, you know, it's starting to go that way a little bit in the American League East as well. Used to be an extremely competitive division. Now there's a few teams that are head and shoulders above.
Here's Petit. Gregorio Petit. Infielder batting with a man at first base. And that'll be ball one. Twins did sign the free agent Logan Morrison, whose name had come up from time to time as a potential for the Red Sox. Had they not gotten J.D. Martinez, a little floater foul.
And you wonder if there was an offer out there from the Twins all along, and he was holding off to see what would happen with Martinez. And as soon as Martinez signed, he's like, all right, I better go play somewhere.
Better get to work. Got to be a strange feeling where everybody else, all your friends and all your teammates are heading off for spring training,
and you don't have a team.
You don't have a team.
Still a few guys out there that don't.
Logan's case last year was, of course, Tampa Bay Rays. We had a very good year. Lamar at first base. Red Sox looking to turn 2. And kind of a strange game because, as mentioned, Boston with only 5 hits, but with the lead, Red Sox committed 2 balks in 1 inning tonight, including balking in a run. Roenis Elias, just something he's going to have to correct. Alex Cora did have a fairly lengthy conversation with Marvin Hudson about that after the inning, after the Red Sox got the 3rd out.
Yeah, he either has to correct it or make sure Hudson isn't the first base umpire.
Yeah, or any umpire ever again when he's in the game, but it'd be tough to do. Marvin, good umpire and a regular on the Major League cruise. These other umpires tonight are not. Spring training, minor league umpires are often used to fill out the cruise. And Jimenez from the set. Right past him. Had some giddy up on that one. So Petit goes down, 1 away.
Jimenez got a nice little array of pitches. Takes them off. Got a nice changeup, little breaking ball, and then that one just good old country hard ball.
Nothing close to a balk move from Jimenez.
If he's smart, he's been watching this game.
One of the better left-handed moves I can remember was Tom Glavine. And it always looked like a balk to me. Down the right field. I'm not sure Tommy ever got called for one. I bet it probably did, but I mean, the longest he pitched, and you're talking about 2 decades, but he was right on. He had it totally figured out. Yep. How far you can go making that step.
Andy Pettit had a great move.
Andy Pettit had a great pickoff move, yeah.
Yep.
Who's the best right-handed pickoff move you ever saw?
You know, Dave Stieb was very quick. He was so quick. You know, right-handers don't fool you. They get you leaning or something. You kind of have to make a mistake to get pissed off.
You've got to have quick feet.
But if you're quick and you get it over there, like, whoa, that surprised me. Lefties, it's all deception. It's so funny. You know, they talk about, you know, in your stretch or why they call it balk is you can't deceive the runner. Really? Because that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Right. Made a good pitch there.
Hey, he's very consistent, very quick to the plate, very almost throwing darts.
And Menez looks like he has an idea out there. He did give up a leadoff single, but came back and he struck out Petit. Now the 1-2 and dropped into right field for a base hit. That'll put him on at first and second with one away. So here come the Twins. Winston Sawyer with a single.
Well, you know how they always say good hitters get jammed. I mean, that's exactly what Jimenez wanted to do. He wanted to get in his kitchen right there. He jammed him. And he just fought that thing off in the outfield for a bleeder, but it's a base hit. Watch this jam shot. Oh, right about now he's saying, get off me, ball. Tried to pull his hands in quicker to get that bat head to it, but that's hard to do.
Now sends up Ramsey with a couple of men on. Red Sox would like nothing more on what has been a long day for the organization, with 2 games being played on a single day, than to turn 2 and get out of here with a win. Fly ball instead into left center field. Sturgeon on the run, and he'll track it down in the alley. The runners will have to retreat to first and second, and there are 2 gone. Get it up into the wind. It has a chance to carry here.
Feels like this ballpark has played big today, though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought we've seen some balls hit pretty hard that have gone nowhere.
So 2 out. Red Sox leading 3-2. We'll be taking it to the Bruins and the Hurricanes as soon as the 3rd and final out is recorded. Red Sox to make the short drive back to JetBlue and Fenway South. And tomorrow afternoon we'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates there at JetBlue. Join us on Thursday. Red Sox will take on the Astros. Ground ball to short. That should do it. The flip and safe. That should have done it. But the play took a long time to develop, and everybody is safe. The bases are loaded.
This ball just ate up Rivera. He got caught in between. He didn't really charge it, so he had to stay back on it. And this hop right there is a tough one. And by that time, he didn't have enough time to get that flip on it to second base. So it was pretty obvious the runner was safe.
Needed a lot more pace on that toss. So some drama here for the Twins. They've loaded up the bases.
Yeah, Rivera just got caught in between on the way the ball was bouncing there, and that ball could have eaten him up badly.
Twins with a man at every base, but 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. That's in there for strike, and it's 0-2. Jimenez feeling like he's already done his job.
A few times.
And that the game ought to be over already. 0-2. And left it up top.
See if he goes to that back leg slider here. See if he can get a swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. Got to have confidence in your catcher behind the plate.
To right along the line, Scott giving chase into foul ground. He slides, and he's got it. And that's the ball game. The Red Sox win it. Scott with a nice sliding stab there down the right field line in foul territory. And Jimenez can breathe easy at last as the Red Sox win this game 3-2. A split squad day, and the Red Sox indeed split them and are now 5-1 here in spring training 2018. Thanks for joining us tonight here at Hammond Stadium, the home of the Minnesota Twins. For Steve Lyons and for Garrett Austin, I'm Dave O'Brien. We send it now to Jack Edwards and Andy Brickley at TD Garden for the call of period 3 of the Bruins and the Hurricanes.